His name Spelling Cousins. You already know what time it is. Animated horror stories. Animated horror stories. Okay, let's get into it. Today we are with someone new. I'm hoping we can add them to the family, cause, we need to expand our palette. We need to see who else is out there with the animated horror. You know what I mean? Today we's about to check in with who? Mr. Creepy. Like, who's that? You say? I don't know, but we're gonna find out together as a family. So So let's get into it. And a good cousin subscribed, suggested them. So obviously they gotta be good. Our cousin suggested them. She wouldn't suggest nobody, you know, bad. So let's get on into it, Mr. Creepy. And I was like, his name is Mr. Creepy. You gotta have creepy stuff, and that's what we like on this channel: some creepy, some horror. So let's get into it, y'all. Go on and go over and subscribe to their channel. And let's get your blunts, get a blanket, get a bag of chips, and get a bottle of water. Let's go. Let's get in here. 3 horrifying new neighbor horror stories animated. Are bone chilling? 3 horrifying neighbor horror stories animated are bone chilling. Scary stories, Mr. Creepy. Okay. That are bone chilling. Maybe they forgot that. It's okay. It's alright. People make mistakes. You see me reading it. Oh, okay. Disclaimer: the following stories are loosely inspired based on true events. All characters and events taking place in this video are fictional. In reality, no one was hurt mentally or physically. That means it's about to be crazy, y'all. They're giving disclaimers. There was a lot more, but hey.
This story is inspired by the true case of a serial killer, Bruce McArthur.
Okay.
It happened 4 years ago, but I can't get rid of my nightly nightmares about it. Each time, I rushed into the bathroom, pouring water on my body to reduce my panic. And now I've decided to tell it and hope you guys have a way to help me forget that scary obsession.
I'm sure you can't. I'm sorry, I'm just being honest.
It was at the beginning of 2018. After saving enough money, I bought a wonderful house in Colorado. I really like this house because everything here is very quiet and peaceful. It's just that I have a creepy neighbor. When I first moved in, that neighbor knocked on my door with a basket of cookies and introduced himself as Bruce. He looked about 60 years old. His face was always red. He's fat, but he seems to be quite healthy. But what annoys me is that he's like a camera running on food. I wonder, is he doing nothing and spending all day watching me? Every time I'm in my room looking out the window, I see him standing at his window, looking over at me and smiling, trying to be friendly. Or every time I go out, I find him already sitting on the rocking chair and greeting me. One day, I even caught him standing at the window of his room with his camera pointed at my room. But when he caught my eye, he quickly hid it. I was extremely annoyed, but there was no way to escape his gaze. My life doesn't seem to be private anymore because he is always watching me. Then one day, I came home late from work. The whole street was quiet, not a single person on the street, even the lights were out. I was about to reach for the doorknob to open the door when suddenly a sharp pain came from the back of my neck. My eyes were blurred and I was about to faint, but I tried to be alert. Reflexively, I turned around to see Bruce standing in front of me. an iron pipe in his hand with a creepy smile.
Hurry up, do something before I hit you again.
What the hell are you doing? Why don't you faint? Are you crazy? You psycho! At that time,
Why don't you faint is hilarious. Cause boy, I made myself not faint. I had to fight it. Because what the hell? Why don't you faint? Cause I was scared. I didn't know what the hell just hit me. I had to wake myself up. That's crazy. Good job he ain't fake, cause whatever Bill's about to Bill, whatever Bruce is trying to do to you is wild. Let's get into it.
what the hell are you doing? Why don't you faint? Are you crazy? You psycho!
Yes, he is crazy.
At that time, my mind was extremely dizzy. I knew I was facing a madman, but I had to try to keep my composure. If I act like I'm hurt and weak, he could attack me and hurt me. I pretended to be sober, glaring at him menacingly, and quickly ran into the house and locked the door. My head ached horribly, but I tried to stay awake. I shivered and touched my neck and was shocked to discover that the back of my head was sunken in. Terrified, I quickly pulled out my phone and dialed 911. I was taken to the hospital shortly afterwards, and Bruce was also arrested for willful bodily harm. But what really worries me is within a week, he was released because the court ruled that he was mentally ill and will not relapse. And that was the beginning of my second nightmare. I spent a week in the hospital for treatment, but as soon as I drove home with my head...
Because, I'm about to say, because they be doing us like that. They will end right there. And that was the beginning of my nightmare. Boop, story 2. We've been Holland.
Nightmare. I spent a week in the hospital for treatment, but as soon as I drove home with my head bandaged, I found Bruce standing in front of my door. Seeing him was like seeing a nightmare. I still don't understand how they could free him after everything he did to me. Even though it was my home, I didn't have the courage to approach or tell him to leave. I was afraid that he would do something crazy and bad to me again. Just as I was about to turn around and leave, he called out to me. Hey, Ryan. Hey, don't ignore me. Hey! Get off me! Don't touch me! I'll call the police! Listen, I'm sorry. I didn't want to hear his voice. It made me panic. I closed my eyes, ran straight into the house, and slammed the door. Ryan, I lost control then. Please, don't mind. Please. All the neighbors around here hate me. I'm sorry. I just want a friend. Hearing his pleading words, I felt sorry for him. Somehow at that time...
What are you about to do, Ryan? Your head is sunken in. You know how hard a skull is, Ryan? You know who did that to you? Bruce, the man on the other side of the door. Open that damn door if you want to. That's your man.
I forgot about his perverted stalking actions and terrible things he did to me. His words hypnotized me and I opened the door for him. Bruce smiled friendly, but it brought me back to consciousness. Just when I was about to close the door, I suddenly stopped because he had set foot to block there ever since. He pulled out a knife from the fruit basket and threatened me into the house. Shut up and get in! Hurry! I had no choice but to keep quiet and listen to what he said. He now revealed the true...
You had a choice. Shut your ass up. He now revealed. He revealed who he was. When he hit your ass in the back of the head, it looked like a metal bat. You don't remember? He hit your ass with a metal bat. You want to sit here acting like your ass forgot. I'm sorry, one moment. And now look at you, backed up with a damn knife at your damn head. You did this. You did this to yourself. Don't blame nobody but you.
No choice but to keep quiet and listen to what he said. He now revealed the true monster inside
Now
of him.
revealed. That's
An expression
so
of a
creepy, y'all.
true madman. He
He ain't
came
now
over to
revealed
put the
nothing that's
cold
been
knife at
revealed.
me and sniffed my body like a real pervert.
Oh,
Surely
no,
he had
didn't.
done this before. He even reached toward my body and touched me, making my whole body feel disgusted. My whole body heats up, but it's because I'm too scared. So much so that tears fell from my eyes from time to time. And what broke my stamina was when he was about to take off my belt. I didn't care if he had a weapon anymore. I threw my knee right in his face.
Good shit, Ryan. Good shit. Set that ass up. Don't care about no knife.
Bruce screams in pain and drops the knife
Knife
to the
ain't no
ground.
gun.
I quickly picked up the knife as a defensive
Start.
weapon
Punch
and pointed it
his
at
ass
him.
up.
Don't
No.
touch me again!
Okay.
Okay, calm down. I just want us to have a little fun. Don't
What are you
overdo it.
talking about?
Don't you like it? No, get out of my way. Get out of my house. Get out! Right away! He finally left my house. I rushed to the bathroom, splashed water on myself, and scrubbed non-stop. I wanted to use the stream of water to wash everything, clean the places he touched on my body. I want to forget everything he did to me. I burst into tears like a baby and called 911. And Bruce was also arrested for willful bodily harm. The hand stained with the blood of 9 people touched my body. It's terribly disgusting. And
Kill
yes,
9 people?
his full name is Bruce MacArthur, a murderer who causes such horrible things that many people still mention him.
He's a bastard. Or two. What you
I considered myself to be an outgoing and friendly person. I often helped everyone in my neighborhood. But after that incident, I realized that enthusiasm sometimes comes with unexpected dangers.
Get it?
That morning, I was woken up by a banging noise outside my apartment.
At your
I
desk?
opened the door and saw a pile of cardboard boxes in the hallway. It looked like someone had moved into the opposite apartment. Oh, hello. You're moving into this neighborhood? I tried to start a conversation with the guy who was busy with his furniture. Yeah, he replied lukewarmly. Do you need any help? No thanks, he mumbled.
Look at him.
Don't worry, let me help you. Even though he refused, I tried to be helpful.
That man
Do you
said
live here
no.
alone? What's your name? Adam. He always answered me that way. This man seemed to be an introvert. Oh, this box is so heavy. I
It's the body.
stooped to pick up a cardboard
down.
box. The label said it was bleach. Excuse me, but do you work in a laundromat? Yeah, I noticed that you bought so much bleach, so... He
You know
immediately
damn
turned to me.
nosy. Give him
Put
his
it down.
shit.
He growled and glanced at me.
Yeah,
His
he's a
cold
killer.
gazes gave me goosebumps. So I
There's a whole
quietly
killer.
went back to my apartment without saying another word. About 3 days later, while watching TV,
Oh, wow.
I suddenly heard
Killer,
loud banging
killer.
and drilling noises. I opened the main door and discovered those noises coming from the guy who just moved in. Hello? I knocked on the door and called out loudly.
Apartment. You can't be up in here
Please keep it down.
renovating.
It's almost
Doing
10 p.m.
construction and shit.
He didn't reply or open the door, but the drilling stopped. So I thought he got me. But on the next day, those sounds came again. But it was afternoon, so I couldn't complain. What takes so long to fix the house? It's almost 1 week. One time I came home from work late at night. I saw him carrying a large suitcase. Hey, are you going on a trip? Yeah, I always started the conversation. He looked at me with a reluctant smile and nodded. Suddenly, a red streak stretching across the ground caught my attention. A horrible thought popped in my head. I could hardly sleep that night because I kept thinking about that new neighbor. Recently, many girls had gone missing. Should I call the police? But in the end, I decided to keep my mouth shut because maybe I was just thinking too much. The next morning, I went down to the lobby to check my mailbox.
You ain't thinking enough.
Electricity bill, water bill, $456? Why is the water bill so high? Normally, I just paid half of that number every month. But after double checking, I realized this was the bill from the opposite apartment. Maybe they put it in my mailbox by mistake. Why is the water bill so high? Do his water pipes leak or something? I knocked on the door with the water bill in my hand. What's wrong? He glared at me. This is your water bill. They put it in my mailbox. Thanks. But wait, I think the pipes in your apartment might be leaking. Let me check. I'm a plumber. He hesitated for a moment, then nodded. Okay, I'll go get my tools. I was surprised to see his dark living room. All windows were closed with thick curtains. I started checking from the sink. Oh, the sink has no problems. Can I check the bathroom? Fine. When I opened the bathroom door, a strong smell of bleach hit my nose.
What are you doing?
I was shocked by the scene in front of me. A girl with a bloody neck was lying in the bathtub.
Bro.
Many bottles of bleach and their caps were scattered in the corner of the room. I finally understood why he bought so much bleach. And the suitcase with the red blood stain. I held the wrench, but my hand kept shaking.
You got a good grip.
Trying to stay calm, but I couldn't
Hit
control
his ass.
myself.
He ain't got no choice.
Go on. His cold voice resounded, making me even more
You
scared
ain't got
now.
no choice.
I could hear his footsteps approaching me. He definitely wouldn't let me out alive. My head was dizzy and I couldn't hear anything. He came very close, put the sharp point of his knife in my back. Please,
He's about to stab you.
I begged trembly.
Don't be begging.
Only the dead can't speak. He whispered before stabbing me in the back. My whole body went numb for a moment, but I couldn't die that way. I swung the wrench in my hand with all my might and
get
hit
up out of
his
there.
head. He fell to the floor and
get up
lost
out of there, right?
consciousness immediately.
Hurry up, hurry up.
I tried to stop the bleeding with my hands and ran out of that damn room.
Good, good.
I called 911 and the ambulance arrived just in time. The crazy neighbor was arrested. It turned out that he was really the culprit that caused the girls' missing cases recently. As for me, I was lucky that day. This would be a lesson for a lifetime, and for you too, maybe, if you're hearing these words right now.
And well, because you know why? Because me and my stolen cousins, we know. We know. We don't need to help you that much. If you need some help with like some groceries, you know, if I ask you, oh my goodness, you moving, do you want help? And you say no, that'll be the first and last time I ever offered to help. So I don't know why you all up in that person space and energy. You picked out all them damn bottles of Clorox bleach. Oh, he's a killer. You should have known. I knew. I'm sure a bunch of people knew. It's okay, let's get up in it.
Have you ever stalked someone? Or have you been a victim of a stalker? In this story, I am both the stalker and the prey of a dangerous criminal. It all started when a new neighbor named Bob moved into a house next to mine. He was handsome and hot, and was definitely a genuine playboy. I
Okay.
brought a pair of binoculars, and
Just to
ever since
watch
he
him?
moved here, I started to use them often. Damn it, I had a huge crush on him.
Girl,
While
that's
following
not
him,
cute.
I could tell that he was a very kind person. He brought a different girl home every day, but no girl had ever left. I looked
Oh!
at myself in the mirror.
Will I ever
Bitch! Did you hear what you just said? He brought a bunch of girls over, but not one person ever left. He's a killer. And you about to call somebody on him?
While
No, you have
following
a
him,
crush?
I could tell that he was a very kind person. He brought a different girl home every day, but no girl had ever left. I looked at myself in the mirror.
Who's
will
the
I
killer?
ever get a chance?
Well, I was kind of shy about my
You wanna die?
appearance. I felt a bit sad, so I picked up his shirt and took a deep breath.
How'd she get a shirt, y'all? Yeah.
Chance?
Well, I was kind of shy about my appearance. I felt a bit sad, so I picked up his shirt and took a deep breath.
So with no.
Oh, how I wish he was mine.
That was one of my souvenirs when I broke into his house last week.
Okay, I got it.
Huh? That's...
I started to see Diana, my best friend, in front of my crush's house.
Oh.
Bob was hanging out with Diana now? When seeing them sitting in his room, I got so jealous.
No way!
Bob started to approach Diana. Oh no, they were going to do that? While I was watching them, I was startled to see Bob turning and staring at my window.
Oh.
I immediately crouched down.
Did he see me?
My heart beat fast with fear.
Oh,
If he found out about me, maybe I wouldn't have a chance with him anymore.
girl.
I slowly
you
raised
still
my
want a
head to look through the
chance.
window and realized he had closed the curtains.
Yep,
could he like
beat your
Diana?
ass.
I was so curious. That night I texted Diana to ask about it,
You
but
know
she
you
did
ain't
not
never gonna
answer
see her
or even
again.
pick up the phone.
Come on, where are you at this hour? Or...
I got worried, so I grabbed my binoculars to look at Bob's house.
Word.
Now the curtain in his room was open, and there was no one there. The next morning, I tried to call Diana again. Finally, after a dozen times, she actually picked up. But the first thing I heard was a loud scream. I dropped
Oh.
the phone in shock. She was in danger.
You
I
know where
had to
she
find
is.
out, and I had to start from Bob's house. I sneaked into the house through the window and then moved into the kitchen. The house was so quiet, and Bob was not there. But when I was about to leave, I suddenly
there.
heard a rustling sound coming from the closet. Startled, I quickly hid under the bed, covering my mouth to prevent myself from making a sound. Bob came out of the closet. He was carrying a heavy black bag. I saw him leave the house and drive away. I quickly got out of bed and headed to the wardrobe.
Sure enough, this is not normal.
I slowly opened the cabinet and discovered that behind it was a secret room. The room was dark with an unpleasant stench. My eyes gradually adjusted to the night. I could see a cage, an operating table, and surgical instruments. I narrowed my eyes to see more clearly.
You ain't gotta do that.
What the...
I leaned close to the
Get
cage and
out!
called out in a low voice.
Diana? Diana? Daisy?
A weak voice called
Oh.
out.
Diana! Daisy here.
I cried and ran to her.
Please, get me out of here. I'm so scared. Let me think. Oh no, he locked the cage.
After a minute, I reached to the table to grab the surgical knife and tried to unlock the cage.
Oh my god, it worked.
I helped
Oh,
Diana
keep it.
out
Okay,
of the
grab it, keep
cage.
it, keep
Her
it.
face turned so pale. Her eyes looked awful.
Oh my god, what did he do to you? All right, let's get you out of here first.
We were getting out of the closet when I heard footsteps approaching. Bob was back. I quickly dragged Diana
Oh,
to
you
the
ain't
bed to
moving.
hide under there. We trembled silently as we waited for him to enter the closet, and then I helped Diana out. But before we could get out of his house, I heard hurried footsteps behind us.
Stop! I'll kill you!
He yelled angrily
No.
behind us, but fortunately, we were able to get out of his house in time. I could feel him very close behind, and we didn't dare to look back. Angry Bob chased after us and shouted,
Stop! You two twats!
I couldn't stop. I must run for both of our lives. Run or die here. I dragged Diana into my house and slammed the door shut immediately. Bob frantically banged on my door.
Don't answer.
Open the door! Both of you go to hell!
I was crying nonstop, and Diana was now fainting from exhaustion.
Ooh, because she's probably been starved.
I hugged her in fear and cried.
Damn it!
The police finally came. They found out that he was a pervert with a hobby of kidnapping girls and torturing them to death. Fortunately, Diana got out safely. The other two girls were in critical condition. I couldn't believe that I had a crush on a pervert for a long time.
You ain't seen that damn person leave. You only seen people go up in there. Oh, this music. Like, y'all know what I mean? Like, come on now. If you don't see, you see people go in, you don't see nobody go out, and you still gonna have a crush on that man? Yeah, subscribe to the channel, y'all. Let's see what they got next time. You know, I'm excited. I hope you enjoyed this video. I enjoyed it. Which one was your favorites? Which one was my favorite? Probably number 2. Because we knew that man was a killer from jump. He moved in, people dying around the neighborhood, and you over there trying to be so neighborly. Oh my God, why is your bill so high? Oh my God, oh my God. Like, boy, if you don't leave him alone, if he ain't asked you for help, don't sit there and push help up on that man. Just leave that man be. But yeah, that might be my favorite one. Number 3 will definitely come in second because we love a good, love a good twist. The twist happened at the beginning. Old girl said, I'm the stalker and I almost became the prey. You were only almost prey because you went up in that man's house. You only went up in that man's house because you was jealous because your friend went up in that man's house. Because you thought they was humping. That's the only reason why you went in there. So you didn't really go in there to help her until you called her all them times. And then you're like, oh my God, what happened? So you went in there to help her towards the end. But it would have been crazy. She seen her in that cage and she killed her out of jealousy. But I'm happy it didn't turn that way. That's all I'm saying. But until next time, you guys, I love you and bye.